Unbelievable. I guess you can't talk about college students, right? No rhyme or reason to it. Ridiculous. But anyway, we're back. Freaking YouTube. So once again, uh, they're consistent. I'm gonna tell you what. I hate games. I really hate games. Just let me do my thing. I'm not being mean to anybody. I'm not saying anything bad. So we left off at Buy Silver, SDS said. We didn't even talk about that, but imagine that. So anyway, let's do this really quickly. Again, if we get bumped offline, I will get back on as soon as I possibly can. And so, you know, yeah, right in the middle of the story too. I know we're talking about my daughter, and so I don't see. No, I'm not using a VPN yet. No, I got to get that. I definitely got to get that. I haven't done it yet. Am I going to stucco the outside of the raised beds? Well, I'll tell you what my mom wants to do. She wants to paint them. Mom wants to paint the. She was. I hate the way they look. Um, you know, she was. I hate the way it looks. She goes. I definitely want to paint them, and I'm like, Ma, they're fine. Richard Ruckman said, Ed, I would like to say you raised your kids well. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm gonna. So I want to talk about this really quickly too, and I think that this is kind of important. And people did mention it in the comments when I did the video about building the raised bed, and I had one of my great nephews with me, and it's weird having I'm a great uncle, so it's my niece's boys, and Zachary is 10, and they come out here periodically, and they hang out, and they love to be out here. They were like, it's so peaceful here and it's awesome, and they love it. They love to go collect the eggs and stuff like that. So when I started doing the raised bed, Zachary was like, I want to help, and I said okay. So to me, it's always a teaching moment. Okay. So Colton didn't want no part of it. He's 6. He was off doing his thing, and that's fine. I mean, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you the rest of the story in a minute. But anyway, so while we were doing it and making it, I was explaining to him the steps of what we were doing, why we were doing it, when we cut the board to make sure that the width of the bed didn't, because if you're trying to eye it up, what'll happen is the farther you get out, it's going to pop out. It's going to go in this direction with your blocks. You're looking at it and you think it's straight, but it's not. So with putting that board in there, it made sure we were right at the perfect width all the way down. And that's what you want to do, so that when you make your end of the other end, it's perfect. Okay. And so, I was teaching him all those things and showing him what we're doing and using the level and making sure everything is right and stuff like that. And he was right there, very into it, and then he got tired. I mean, it ended up being a lot longer than, and I get it, but he kept coming back and wanting to be part of it. And he actually brought over, I had 90 blocks that I had to bring over, and he brought over 4 of the blocks. Okay. And he's 10 years old. And one of those blocks for a 10-year-old is heavy, but he wanted to really get in there and help and be part of it, which was awesome. So when I was all done, I called him over and I gave him $10. And I told him, and this is what I used to tell my kids too. I said the same thing to him. I said, you don't get rewarded every time financially. I said, but when you do a good effort with no complaints or anything like that, sometimes you get rewarded. And so I gave him $10, and it's called incentive. You're right. It is called incentive, Antonio, but he wanted to be there and he wanted to be part of it anyway. Not for any, he wasn't doing it because he thought he was going to get paid at the end. He did it because he just wanted to be there. He wanted to be involved with what I was doing, and he wanted to help. And I thought that was awesome. I thought that was absolutely awesome. And it's funny because my niece, who doesn't always watch my videos all the time, she said, that she was watching the videos because she knew that the boys were going to be in the videos. Talk about full of energy, though. Oh, my God, those kids are absolutely full of energy. But he did a great job, and he was very, very helpful, and he was listening, and he was very attentive, and he was, to me, that is awesome, to be able to help train, if you will, that next generation. It was very, very cool. And, and I thought that that was awesome. You might mention your property to Jason at the Angry Pepper to get him out of the city. Like I said, I'm not selling my property anytime soon if I am. If I get to a point where I decided, if I get to a point where I decide that I don't want to be here at all anymore, and if I have another property and I'm working on another property and I decide to sell this, I would definitely, make it available to preppers first if they wanted to be there. So, that would absolutely, that would be what I would do. But like I said, again, I may keep both places. So then that way I could be up here. Like I'm going to tell you what, guys, up here in the spring and in the summer and in the fall, it is absolutely beautiful. It is gorgeous. It is wonderful to be here. Nothing like riding in the fall when the leaves are all changed and the colors are out there. It is absolutely, just wonderful. Okay. But the winters suck up here. I mean, there's no if, ands, or buts, no way around it. Winters are hard. They're tough. Okay. So if I can have a property someplace in the South that I can go to, I'm going to tell you what my dad used to do. Okay. My dad, every winter, would go to South Carolina to Myrtle Beach once he retired. Once he retired, he would leave in December and he would come back like April 1st. But he would spend all winter long down in Myrtle Beach, and because it was off season, so it was cheaper and it was definitely warmer than up here. But that's what he did for many, many years. And as I get older, and I hate winter anyway, so I'm looking at that. And if it comes to a point where I decide I want to do that permanent move down there full time, that is definitely Ed's Airbnb for the winter. Yeah, exactly. But it gives me an opportunity to go someplace in the winter, to work on things down there, to get my infrastructure in place and everything like that. Before I ever make a move, guys, I will tell you what, I will definitely have a lot of things in place. When we moved here, and I want you to remember this too, because it's like this is a big part of the whole thing. We have to look at the whole game plan. When we moved out here, I had a 37-foot camper that we started out in. Okay. And I want to run this down real quick so people understand. So, you kind of go what my thought process is with everything. So when we moved out here, the day before we moved, I found out I had cancer. So I had to have a surgery, and I had to have a major surgery, which we moved out here full time. It was June 22nd, I believe, was when we moved out here. It was, yeah, because it was school had just finished. So it was June 22nd. We moved out here full time. Then we were here. I remember telling the kids when we were getting ready to move, I said, the first 2 weeks out here are going to suck, but it will get better if you trust me. So, we had, the first week we were out here, we had no internet. So, I mean, they were losing their mind, oh my God, no internet, right? So we had no internet. We got out here, had to get that set up. Then I had to set up the solar station, get that set up to get started. That's how I started out here. Okay. If I'm going to make a complete move to another location, I'm not walking in like that again. Okay. Because it was not fun. It was not pleasant. It was not an enjoyable experience. Okay. And it was, did things get better? Absolutely. But then, a month after we moved down here, I had to have major surgery and literally knocked me out of commission for quite a long time. And so it was not fun at all. And but it's what happens. You have Missouri Ozarks and Arkansas Ozarks. Oh, they're talking about the Ozarks as well, Randy Romine. Yep. Yeah, there. Like I said, people have talked about the Ozarks as well, and there's a lot of preppers I know down in the Ozarks. A lot of ex-military, especially Navy guys and stuff like that, are definitely down in the Ozarks. Like I said, it's going to have to be someplace that calls to me, realistically. And if I go on this trip in May, which is when we're going to go, we're going to do our road trip in May, maybe a week, maybe 10 days. I don't know. I have no see. That's what I like too. Okay, I am not on, oh my God, I got to be back by this time. Mom and Beck are going to be here. They're going to take care of the animals. Mom will just stay in my house and Becky will be in her place. And, being the warmer weather, they don't have to worry about fires or bringing in firewood or anything like that. And they're going to be just fine. So, but, I'm going to look, I'm going to find what I want, hopefully, and we'll go from there. And, that's what we're going to do. Keeping It Dutch is a great channel. He's moving off grid with his family. I've heard of the channel. I really haven't watched his very much. So Ozarks is really good trout fishing there. The Ozarks do. Yeah, I've heard that the Ozarks are a great area too. But like I said, I just got to find what's going to work for me. I really do. So, we're just going to go with the flow and we're going to have a good time. And I want to tell you what the best part, am I going by car or bike? Probably car, because it's like if I'm going to be looking at remote locations and rutty roads and stuff, I definitely don't want to do that on a bike. So, but yeah, no trail of the or tail of the dragon in the Ozarks, right? But again, like I said, we're going to go and I'm going to tell you what the best part of this is. Okay. Absolute best part to me. When I told Heather that I was going to be taking off in a week or two, and she told me no. And I go, what do you mean no? She says, you got to wait till I'm done with school because I want to go with you. That it got me. Okay. I'll be honest. I'm a softie for my kids. I'm definitely a softie for my kids. I'm going to talk to Eddie and see if he wants to go too. Okay. And we'll see what happens. But be able to spend that time with her, and it's just going to be me and her, and we're going to go on this adventure. I think that's going to be cool because you know what? I mean, the reality is, she's being more mature, she's growing up, she's living her life. So any opportunity that I have that I can spend some time with my daughter, especially one-on-one time like that, I count that as a blessing. And the fact that she wants to spend that time with me, I count that as a blessing as well. So I must have done something right. So, but yeah, it'll be a good time. Always good to have another set of eyes along with you. Oh, absolutely. And I definitely am looking forward to, her feedback as well. And see what she has to say and what she thinks of because I'm going to tell you what, I'm looking for very, very specific things. Obviously, I want isolation. I want to be out away from everybody. That's one of the things I definitely want. The other thing I want to have is got to have a water source on the property. Got to either have a well, a spring, a creek going through it, or whatever the case may be. I definitely want higher elevation. I don't want to be down in the valleys. So yeah, let her win at the throwing the axes. That's right. Yeah, she's a good axe thrower. So, but yeah, and I just like I said, I'm looking for the right fit, and if I find it, then we'll go for it. And it'll just be a new adventure. And then, like I said, to me, it's like to be able to say, all right, it's December 1st or whatever the heck I feel like going, and say, I'm out of here. I'm going down to the other property. That would be very, very cool. You said crick like a good old country boy. Well, hey, I mean, that's what I want to have that on there. Build a big house with rooms for visitors and an Airbnb and be them. Yeah, no, you know what? I'm not looking to build anything big. No. And the other part is too, I want to be in a place where I can do what I want. That I don't have to worry about code enforcement officers and the towns being up my behind every minute or anything like that too. So that's kind of what I'm looking for as well. Down near Springfield, Missouri, Wells Land, you would all you would need is there. Oh, okay. Like I said, I'm gonna definitely I'm gonna look. Ozark Mountains are nice, some caves too. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, having a cave I think would be really, really cool. Having a cave on a property I think would be really neat. Because what a perfect, bomb shelter if you would. To have something like that. Go in there, reinforce it, make it stronger, and you have a natural thing to be able to use. I think that would be really, really cool. So but like I said, code enforcement officers, that's new for me. Well, we have them here, if in New York, pretty much wherever you go in New York, and I don't know what it's like up in the Adirondacks per se, but I'm, where I'm at, where I lived before and stuff like that. You build something, especially if you lived in suburbia, or if you lived in the city, especially if you don't go and get your permission to build something on your own property, right? People would call the town on you in a heartbeat, and then the code enforcement officer comes out, and and some of them are cool and some of them are not. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now: the code enforcement officer out here where I live, the guy is absolutely awesome. The guy's name's Mark, very very cool dude. Was not an a-hole at all in any way, shape, or form. Was willing to work with me. I was willing to work with him right from day one. So it worked out really, really well. Okay. So, I mean, I'm not trying to badmouth code enforcement officers. They have a job that they have to do. They've been hired to do. And, some people do stupid stuff, but anyway, so, you have to have your permits in New York to do what you want to do. And it always comes down to, realistically, I mean, let's be realistic. You get the permit, you build what you want to build, you got to build it to code, right? And then what happens is what do you call them? Oh my God, I can't think of what they're called. Another person comes out, a tax assessor. Yep, that's what it is. Okay, so then the tax assessor comes out, and they're going to increase your taxes as you build up your property. You make your property better. It's now worth more money. So they want more money in taxes. That's just the reality of it. It's unfortunate, but it is the way it is. And so that's one of the things that you have to deal with. I recently had a visit from the tax assessors. So, and that's part of it as well. So what are you going to do? You know what I mean? And the other part is, and I got to tell you this now, anybody that wants to think about doing YouTube, you want to put your life out there, you want to share your journey and all that type of stuff, you better be prepared for what comes along with it. Because there are people out there that hate you. They're always going to hate you. That's a fact. Okay. And they're going to do everything that they possibly can do to sabotage what you're doing, to try to cause you problems with the town, the county, CPS, being swatted, the whole 9 yards. It's all part of it. So be careful what you want, because that's the reality of it. That's what people do. Jealousy, bitterness, envy, who knows? You know what I mean? To me, it's like, I'm going to tell you what, I'm a very live and let live person. You have a different life. You do what you want to do with your life. That's fine. Who am I to judge you? I don't care what you do. Realistically, I don't, because it doesn't affect me. If it doesn't affect me directly, I don't care what you do. Okay. Now, if you're my neighbor, okay, here's a great example of something. If you're my neighbor and you're playing loud music nonstop to 2 o'clock in the morning every night, we're going to have an issue. Now, I'm going to go to you as a gentleman first, and I'm going to talk to you. All right. And if you are so willfully ignorant that you're going to continue to do that, then we take the next step and you call the authorities. I'm going to try to do it without that, because that's how you make really bad enemies, and stuff like that. When we first, and the reason I say that, when we first moved out here, and they didn't do it to 2 in the morning, just so you know. When we first moved out here, there was people that lived next door, and he would be playing his music and drinking and doing his thing. And, and it was loud, where, I mean, I'd be over here working, but I mean, the guy was the nicest guy. I mean, he would come over and he'd be, he'd have a beer. And I'd be like, okay, cool. So I'd stop whatever I was doing. I'd drink a beer with him and stuff like that. But, he'd play his music really, really loud, and it just happened to be the kind of music that I also like. So it wasn't so bad, but still, it's you have to take other people's feelings into consideration, if you will. So, but then they ended up selling and they moved out, and they were gone, and the people that are there now are fine. So, but again, like I said, I mind my own business. I don't bother nobody, and I just trying to live my life and share it. And then, of course, like I said, you're going to get people that are bitter, jealous, or whatever the case may be. Maybe they don't like people with shaved heads. Who knows? Whatever the case may be. So, you just have to, you deal with it. And so, some people can't deal with it. They can't deal with the hate. They can't deal with the stuff that we have to deal with as YouTubers. And so they get off and they get away from it. And I get it. I totally understand why they do it, So, but for me, I can be an a-hole. So, I deal with what I got to deal with and I drive on, it's just, that's just part of the deal. So, but like I said, it's like, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm the nicest guy in the world. The nicest guy in the world. I help anybody out. Cross me, try to screw me, or try to hurt me, then we're gonna have an issue. That's just the way it goes. And that's not being a tough guy. That's not anything like that. That's just reality. Because I tell people I ain't the one, not the one. So, but uh, yeah, aren't all people with shaved head white supremacists, or is that just misinformation? Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, of course I have to be. I have to be a white supremacist because I have my head shaved. You know, Unbelievable. I always laugh at people are morons. A lot of them, not all. Of course, nobody watching my channel are morons. You guys are awesome and you're brilliant, of course. But no, there's just some of these people out there. It blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. I look at some people and I go, how are these people alive? Number one, how hasn't just life in general taken them out already? How do they get by day to day? It is amazing to me. It really is. But yeah, it's just so I got to tell you that it's Harley Davidson envy, Ed. They have a complex. Well, it's funny with that. I got to tell you a real quick story with that. So I bought my Harley back in 2015. And so I think I had it for about a year at that point. Maybe it was 2016 or something like that. And I had somebody like, you need to sell that Harley and buy a tractor. And I'm like, no, I don't. You know what I mean? I have a 2015 Heritage Softail. That is my Harley. So, yep, 1.3. It is awesome. I love it. Very smooth ride, very, very comfortable. It's a lot of fun. I got it. 80K man, he's asking anything more in the get together at Letchworth. I'm waiting. I got to see if they're going to open things up. If they open things up, I will definitely make a reservation and let everybody know as soon as I know. And we'll plan to get together. But if they allow us to do that, I absolutely will do that. But yeah, people are always going to have a judgment. You should do this or well, here's my favorite. It's not even you should. You need to. You need to do this. No, let me just explain. I don't need to do anything. I will do what I want to do. So for me, riding is a very zen thing. And anybody on here that watches that knows, that rides will get it. And I don't care if you're riding a moped, okay? If you are out there and you're riding, you get it. You understand. Because people that don't ride will never get it. They will never understand. It is a stress relief for me. I really, really enjoy it. And again, that's another thing with having a property further south. If I decide when it is January for say, or February, and I'm at my other location, and I decide, hey, bike weeks happen down in Daytona. I could ride down there with no problem at all and go down and ride as much as I want to. So that's part of it for me as well with having a second location. So. Yeah, you need to LOL is like a mandate. Yeah, it blows me away when people say that. Richard Ruckman said, I miss riding. I had 2 back surgeries and 2 neck surgeries. That'll definitely take you out of it. That will definitely take you out of it. So sorry to hear that. But yeah, it's like it's part of who I am. So I love riding. I will ride as long as I can. I will stay on 2 wheels as long as I can. I always say that like the people that have the trikes, that's and it's fine. Have a trike, ride your trike. That's all great. But a lot of older people get trikes. I had neighbors when I lived in Greece. They were the sweetest couple, and they were in their 80s, and they would ride all the time, and they had a trike, and that's what they did. They still rode all the time, and I just thought that was like the cutest thing. So I pay $900 per year in property tax for a 2-bedroom house and a few acres in Ohio. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, it's a lot more expensive. A lot more expensive up here, and that's another thing that I'm looking at too. You know what I mean? If I can find a decent amount of land and something that I can do something on, and have those options, it just puts me in a better position. So, Guys, we're at 801 in the chat. We're at 290 on the thumbs up. So I'm going to ask real quick again if you would shoot a thumbs up to show support for the channel. And thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate it. Also, again, it really does help with the algorithms too. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. Trikes are easy to handle on long road trips. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I got another buddy of mine that's still capable of riding on two, but he loves his trike. He says, he goes, I'll never go back to two, but I like having two wheels. It's something about it for me. So, but anyway, again, if you're not subscribed already, I would also ask you to subscribe to the channel to show support for the channel. So really quickly, I want to mention a couple channels, guys. Green Greg's again. You want to learn how to do farming and worm farming and all that type of stuff, go check out his channel. He's got a lot of interesting information over there. So definitely go and check that out as well. Okay. Also, Vizariza, and I will give him a call, guys. I'll try to find out what's going on and why he hasn't posted. And as soon as I know, I will let you guys know. So I will definitely be calling him as well. Also, up in Canada, my buddy Ickycan, Ickycan, another very good channel. He's going to be doing more building this year. Love what he's doing up there. Love what he's doing up there. Also love Sean James with My Self-Reliance up in Canada. Again, another great channel. Definitely watch that. Go out west. Now we're talking about Magic Prepper out in North Dakota. And then we're also talking Marfugal News, which is also, he is in Washington State. So another couple other great channels there to, and then of course, then we have Doug and Stacy. I think they're in Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. And you're looking at Southern Prepper 1, and he is in South Carolina. And, there's a ton of great channels out there, a ton of great channels. Get as much information as you can. Watch different people. You'll see a different perspective, a different viewpoint. And I think that Pinball Preparedness is another one, guys. Watch Pinball as well. Yep, somebody else just put that up there. But, yeah, there's a... Hey, Squirrely Radio. Thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you. So... paid $17K for 5 acres and a 2-bedroom house with a huge building in southern Kentucky. Wow. Yeah, something like that. That's nice. That's a good get right there. So, and guys, the moderators are putting links up for the different people. Okay. Oh, Doug and Stace here in Missouri. All right, thank you. I thought they were in Ohio for some reason. Yeah, I thought they were in Ohio. So, but anyway, so there's a lot of great channels out there. Boss of the Swamp is another one as well. I like his channel as well. A lot of good information out there, and just learn as much as you can. With everything going on and all the craziness out there in the world right now, we just got to be as ready as we can be. Just continue to prep, continue to get ready, because we just never know what's going to happen. There's a lot of insanity in the world right now, a lot, and there's a lot of lunatics that are driving the train. So, it's fun. It's definitely fun. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to do this really quickly because we're running out of time. We are Legion because we are many. We're all Alaska Prepper too. Yep, sorry, I forgot to mention him. Oh, I also forgot to mention Angry Prepper, obviously down in New York City. Another great channel. So a lot of good channels out there, guys. Definitely show support for everybody. Go ahead and tell them Prepper Nurse 1 sent you over. And that's just, we just do what we got to do, right? So let's do this. We are Legion. We are one group of people. We're a human race. We're all over the world. We're all over the country. Where's everybody from tonight? So let's do that real quick. Hudson Valley, Florida. We have Oregon. I know I do say it sometimes wrong, and I apologize. We have Indiana, East Tennessee, Montreal, Canada, Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And then we have Ontario, Canada. Let's see, Tennessee, Beech Grove, Indiana, Ulster Park, New York, Nevada, Maryland, London, Eastern Oregon, Hudson Valley, New York, Cape Cod, Virginia, Kentucky, Northern Ohio, Edgewater, Florida, Endicott, New York, Connecticut, Indiana, Mesa, Arizona, Midway, Kentucky, Montreal, the Adirondacks, New Hampshire, let's see, Buffalo, New York, Missouri, Eastern Montana, Los Angeles, California. I did see Vegas in here too. Puerto Rico, Middletown, Pennsylvania, Eastern Tennessee, the Yukon up in Canada, very cool. Reno, Nevada, very nice. Missouri, Melbourne, Australia is in the house, very nice. We have Minnesota, Georgia, Wyoming, Mesa, Arizona again, Volcano, Hawaii, there you go. Grand Island, Nebraska, Puerto Rico, very nice. Orlando, Florida, Detroit, Alabama, Gatlin, Pennsylvania, Victoria, Texas, Southern Kentucky, Alabama. We have Ohio, Eastern Kentucky, New Mexico, Western North Carolina, hidden in the mountains, very nice. Kelowna, British Columbia. If I said the first part of that wrong, Janice, I apologize. Southern Maryland. We have Wellm, Washington, North Wellington County, Ontario, very nice. Montana, Eastern North Carolina, Northern Illinois, like middle of nowhere. That's a good place to be. That's where I want to be, in the middle of nowhere. Crook County, Illinois, North Carolina. Green Greg's is here. Yep, I just gave you another shout out, man. Just if you're here. Upstate South Carolina. We have Utah. So again, Colorado. We're all over the place, guys. We're all over the world. We're a huge family, a huge network of people. We just got to continue to do what we're doing. We work together, try to connect, try to organize, and we're going to be in a lot better shape. As preppers, as off-gridders, it's going to give us an advantage over 95% of the people in this country. And I want you to think about how much of an advantage that is. With having a 2-week supply of food and water, it puts you in a position to be ahead of the curve by 95% of the people. Because 95% of the people have done nothing. They have done no preparedness at all. So the more that we do for ourselves and our families, because a lot of times that's what it comes down to, you need to think about what you might want to do to be able to help other people, because there will be a tremendous amount of people out there looking for help when the time comes. There really will be. So again, let's just do the best that we can. So we're at, what, 369 on the thumbs up. We're almost at 600 people in the chat. Let's see if we can pop that over 400 before we jump off of here. So again, if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, let's see if we can jump that up over 400 before we get off. And thank you. I appreciate you guys doing that. I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job, keeping the chat clean. I really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and I really, really appreciate that. It's a 95% we're going to have to worry about when the hammer drops. Brian Barry, you are absolutely right. The unprepared, I'm going to tell you what, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, because I do say that a lot, because there's a lot of things that I repeat myself all the time with. The most dangerous person in a post-event, and I want you guys to think about this and take it to heart. The most dangerous person in a post-event is somebody who is desperate and scared. Not your military guy that's trained that knows what he's doing. It is the desperate and the scared that are the most dangerous in a post-event. Remember that, because they are. They are willing to do whatever they have to do to get what they need, and that's something to think about, okay? Remember, guys, we are all in this together. We really, truly are. We are one family. We really are. We're one race called the human race. We all bleed red. We got to stop with the political nonsense. We got to stop with, the race baiting garbage that goes on constantly. And, we just got to stop the religion-based hatred as well, okay? When SHTF happens, and I've said this again, and I will continue to say this because I want you to really take this to heart. You are not going to care what religion, what race, or what political view the person that is offering you help has. Okay? If they're offering you help, you're going to take the help. You're not going to care who they are. You're not going to care what background they are. You're not going to care if they're a Pacific Islander. If they're offering help, you're going to take the help and you're going to be grateful. Okay? So let's stop with all that. Stop letting the media dictate how we think. Think for ourselves. That's the best thing that we could possibly do. Remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in the world day to day. So, tomorrow could be our last day. So make sure you tell the people that you care about how you feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you are trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only person that is going to stop you from reaching your goals, if you set realistic goals, the only person stopping you is you, nobody else. Don't listen to those negative people telling you what you can and cannot do. I've listened to that my whole life, and I always have one response for them. I always tell them, watch me. That's all you can do. You say, watch me. And then when you get it done and you reach your goal, then they got nothing to say. Nothing to say. And that's how you shut people like that up. Okay. So, anyway, guys, I am going to jump off of here. Have a great night. I will see you all tomorrow. Be safe. I hope you had a great weekend. I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.